And then the next was Sony, and Sony brought it to the table pretty good.
Oh my God, Sony!
More to you than me.
Oh my God. Okay, well, when you open up your press conference with The Last Guardian, which hasn't been seen in like 2 years, it's like, this is still a thing. You win. Take my money.
Take my money.
I mean, you opened up with The Last Guardian. I mean, the last I heard about The Last Guardian was the director was talking about leaving and things like that, and then I think the last we saw anything of it was like 2009, 2010, and then we just heard about it here and there throughout the last few years, and then right before E3, Sony was gonna let the trademark run out.
It's gonna be the next Duke Nukem Forever.
Well, I mean, it was originally developed towards the beginning of the PlayStation 3's life.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's when they announced this, because it was Shadows of the Colossus come out, the 3 launched, and then they announced Last Guardian.
So it's a sequel to Shadow of the Colossus then.
It's the same developer.
Fair enough. So you didn't know.
Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, Last Guardian, and apparently all three of these games are connected in some way, and The Last Guardian apparently ties them together, or there's stuff in there for them, I don't know. But you opened up with The Last Guardian. Okay, you already have my attention, you've already hit a home run, you don't really have to do anything else, Sony.
But yet they did.
And they did.
What else did they do? We'll save the big one for last.
Well, I'm just going to go in the order in which they did things.
I don't know what they did, so...
They showed off some, like, little things here and there, which were kind of neat, and then they come out with, I'm trying to remember what it was.
Did they show any Final Fantasy 15? Or did even the Square conference?
No. We'll get to the Square conference later.
Yeah.
That was the most boring thing ever. But Sony comes out with the guy that runs the demo for No Man's Sky. And No Man's Sky caught my attention last year. No Man's Sky is the kind of game that I will disappear from society for. If it even lives up to half of what they're promising.
Well, they have Pierre Molyneux doing it.
Well, the guy that was showing it off said, when he starts pulling back, he's like, every single one of these dots is a system, and every single one of these systems has planets, and it's just like, because the system randomly generates things as you go places, and it's like, okay, cool, and then they like months and months back, they announced the algorithm for how this stuff is done, and they're always going to be adding new content to the generator, so you're going to keep seeing new things, which is really kind of cool, and it's an ever-expanding universe, which is even better. And when you discover something, it's going to upload it's like, this person in this region of the world discovered that planet and this animal and that, and it's like, okay, but it's like, it's a space exploration, combat, planet exploration game. Kind of in the vein of Privateer with the X-Wing games. So, okay, but when he was showing the scope and what you could do in their current build, it was just, I'm like, okay, you've got my attention. And then Sony, there was something else Horizon Zero Dawn. That was the game. Okay, so Horizon Zero Dawn opens up and it's got this beautiful cutscene and this wonderful conversation about like this future society that's collapsed and now everything's overgrown and whatnot, and then you get these tribal people, and you're playing a tribal female who's dressed according to what a tribal female would be dressed, and not the way we fantasize them, which was a nice change. And she's using a bow that's got all these little attachments on it. It's like, okay, so what is she out there hunting? You know, she's stalking through the things, and then you see them, and it's robotic animals. Like, all the animals of the world are now, like, robotic, and, like, the giant one comes out, and she uses, like, tether lines to tie it to the ground to shoot its weak spots. I'm like, this game, it looks like Tomb Raider and every other third-person action game, but it's such a neat world, and it looks so good. I want to play it just to play it.
Right.
So Zero Dawn has my attention. No Man's Sky shows, and they show it good. And then they tease us with World of Final Fantasy. Cheapy Final Fantasy. It's like, yep, because up until this, there was the rumors going around. They tease us with that, and then they tease us with something else, and then they come out, and the next two things they did melted the internet. Yeah. They melted the internet. Yeah.
I was squealing like a little fucking girl. Curtis was squealing. I was like, like, I mean, seriously, that, and I'm not hyping it. I'm not embellishing by any means of the imagination.
I was watching the Screw Attack live stream of that when that came across, and the whole time the three guys we were watching go, no, this is a troll. This is a troll. This is a troll. They're trolling us. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And then that Buster Sword shows up, and it's like, oh my god, it's real.
Yeah, and it's like, I came so, like, my Fallout 4 had the erection of like this. Final Fantasy VII had the pants that were soaked down to my socks. I came so hard. I could feel a battleship.
And then for anyone that wasn't quite to your point, they came out and announced the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter. And while that doesn't mean anything to me. But you have to understand the importance of that. The fans have wanted Shenmue 3 for years. The creator, director, and game designer has wanted Shenmue 3 for years, and nobody would do it. And then Sony was just like, we're going to do your Kickstarter on stage, and if it's a PS4 PC exclusive.
Right.
So, okay. So with those two announcements, Shenmue 3, and it's at 3-something million now.
How much was the goal?
2.
Yeah.
They met their goal in 18 hours.
Oh, I'm not. It's like Bloodstained Ritual did for the Castlevania movie.
Yeah, but it's a whole different number, which is why Shenmue 3 is probably going to break the record for, amount earned. But the Final Fantasy VII Remake and the Shenmue melted the internet. And yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake is PlayStation 4 first.
We'll see on the rest.
However, a lot of people that are saying that it's multi-console, or are saying that it's going to be multi-console, aren't doing their research. Because Square Enix Japan is only programming it for the PS4 and PC from insider sources. Which makes sense, because those are the two systems that it was on when it originally launched.
And it kills me that I will have to buy a PlayStation 4 just for that one game. And I will buy it just for that one game, because PlayStation 4 has nothing I care about on it other than that. I'm hoping it does get an Xbox One port, and I mean, I can go that route and get Fallout 4, or go to PlayStation route and get Fallout 4 and Kingdom Hearts 3, because they're going to be multi. It's just, it's going to be the Halo or the Final Fantasy, because it's one of those two. I'm going to have to buy a console for one or the other kind of thing.
Yeah, just do like me and own both of them at
I will. Well, then I'll have a Wii U. I usually own all three of a console system anyway.
Yeah. But then Sony showed off some like random other stuff after that nobody really cared about. They showed off more Battlefront 4 or Battlefront 3.
Actually, the Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront game. Don't care about that gameplay. Don't care about that. Not gonna lie, that really impressed me, and that looked absolutely amazing.
And it's gonna be on both consoles, but I think Sony's got exclusive
for it right now.
Well, Sony's got exclusive content for it apparently. So they showed, but yeah, so Sony showed the Battlefront stuff. They showed off a few random titles, and then they ended it with an Uncharted demo. And yes, the demo crashed.
Did it really?
The demo didn't crash. They were having controller issues. But that press conference had been going for an hour, and they had like 2 controllers on the stage, and there's no telling what really happened. They had to reset the demo. But even after that weird controller issue at the beginning, once that demo got going, the size and scope of that level, holy shit. Holy shit. So it opens up. They're walking through this crowd. It turns into this gunfight in the middle of like a marketplace, and they get into a vehicle and they start racing. They have to get down to this hill, and they show you at the beginning of the demo how far down the hill it is.
Right.
And they start racing down the hill, and they're racing this truck with a machine gun that's in front of them. But as you're going down, you can literally watch as they're going down. There are multiple paths they can pick. The guy playing clearly knew the path he wanted to go.
Right.
But you could see the different branching paths to get down this hill. And it took a good, 5 minutes of constant high-speed downhill driving in a video game to even get to the bottom. And then they get down there, and then now they're racing along the side of an interstate. because they get which further expands the stage, and I'm going, that fucking level is huge. We're talking like GTA City section size. So, okay.
We'll see.
Well, I'm a big fan of the Uncharted.
You're right.
games.
I mean, that's one of those things.
And I like Naughty Dog games. So, all right.